Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly podcast series called Encouragement for Your Life. Most of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and coach. I like to say I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentation skills, how to deal with the media, and crisis communication. I've got a number of other presentations on my website if you'd like to check those out. If your organization has an upcoming conference and you need a keynote speaker, I hope you'll reach out at debsofield.com. I would love to be a part. I've got a number of great books on the market. My best-selling book, Speak Without Fear. My book, Perfecting Your Platform. Both of those are on Amazon and Audible if you like to listen to books. And my series, Encouragement for Your Life, which is a compilation of these podcasts, they're available on Amazon, volumes 1 through 3. Just go into Amazon, type in my name, Deb Sofield, all my books will appear. I've got another great show for you today, and I'm using the Winston Churchill quote, and it's this. Our friend, success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. I'm Deb Sofield. Stay with me. I'll be right back after the break. So I'm working with a terrific young man who will be giving the valedictorian address at his high school graduation in a few weeks. It has been so fun to hear him reminisce about his early days in high school when he said, quote, he didn't care, to realizing one day that he was just a few points behind the smartest guy at the school, and knowing that with a little work, he could overtake him. Because, as he said, no one knew he was that smart since he didn't show it, and since school was boring to him. Well, much to the chagrin of the faculty, he is the one who's going to be on that stage. No doubt he did some pretty dumb things when he was in 9th and 10th and 11th grade. Honestly, it was all I could do not to laugh when he told me his antics. But somewhere along the way, he read the quote from Winston Churchill. Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts, and it changed his life. Why? Because he realized that failure is not fatal. It's just a learning curve. You've got to drive through at some point in your life. He also came to realize that the most important skill he could develop was the simple, yet hard, determination to have the courage to continue, even when all his teachers were, as he said, not too impressed with him. Frankly, many were not happy to have him on the stage. But the grade point average doesn't lie, and he is the one who made it to the top. I'm not going to let him say anything unkind about the teachers he didn't like, nor am I going to let him be a smart aleck. What I am going to do is push him to be bigger than life to those who are sitting in the audience, thinking they will never get out of their small town. In fact, I'm going to have him remind the hundreds of other kids that unlike what so many people say to them about life, the simple fact is this: you don't need to find a purpose, you need to choose one. Let me say it again, friends, you don't need to find a purpose, you need to choose one. And that's my thought for today, along with a quote from the great Winston Churchill. So many listening today ought to consider the truth. You don't need to find a purpose, you need to choose one, and you need to get going. I work with many people who waste a lot of time searching for their purpose in life, but it can lead them down some dead-end roads if they're not careful. People write books about it, preachers preach sermons about it, TV talk show doctors will drone on about it for hours on end, but the truth is hard, and frankly, many people don't want to hear it. Looking and looking and looking seems like fun, until you get to the end of your life and you realize you were looking at it all along. And yet still in your quest for something more exciting, more daring, more impressive in your eyes, you missed the opportunity staring you in the face. Now, to be fair, occasionally you will find your purpose by being in the right place at the right time. But that is a very small portion of the world's audience, because most people who are successful choose a purpose and then commit themselves to it for the long haul. And that is why they are successful today. My young client and I had the conversation that people will often tell you that a single success can cause you to be, quote, set up for life, or a single mistake can ruin you for life. However, that's not true. And any thinking person will come to understand that it is rare to win the lottery of life and be set for life. Or it is rare to make such a big mistake that it will haunt you for the rest of your life. Now, no doubt, TV has told us about both types of people. And you may know one or two who have lived this out in real time. But the fact is, life is ever changing, and your job is to find your place and purpose and thrive where you're planted. Now, when I say thrive where you're planted, I mean that you need to find a level of comfort in believing that where you are right now is where you are to be at this moment in life, either to learn a lesson that you will carry for life or learn that you will never repeat this lesson in your lifetime. For some who are listening to me today, where you are right now, let's be honest, it's not a good place. It's okay to admit it. That's the first step in finding the light. But now, what can you do to move up and out? No one is going to do it for you, unfortunately. You have to be strong enough to make the change. Remember, it's the courage to continue that counts. When I say continue, it's not staying in the same old place doing the same old thing that will get you the same old dismal experiences that you're working through right now. It is moving away from the situation, whatever that looks like for you. The courage to continue is the courage to make changes in your life, big and small, but change for the better, for your purpose, for your life. And just an aside for those who are people of faith, don't blame God for the mistakes you've made. Put some sweat into your prayers and put your feet to the mission, doing what you're called to do, understanding that your journey of faith is most likely not easy, but necessary for the perfecting of your faith. I want to return to the statement that many people seem to hope for, that a single success can make you, quote, set for life. Or the false belief that a single mistake can ruin you for life. My theme this month through all these podcasts right now is the opportunity to say yes. Say yes when any opportunity comes along, however big or small. And I want you to remember, hopefully memorize, the Sir Richard Branson quote. If someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do it, say yes, and then learn how to do it later. My post last week was that of opportunity is everywhere if you just know where to look. And I believe that with all my heart and soul because I see it every day. For people who are willing to work and be bold enough to say yes, and then figure out a way to make things happen. So I had a guest when I was on the radio, and his name was Dr. Ben Carson. And his life story is one of believing that opportunity is everywhere, and that is how the low-hanging fruit that is yours for the taking if you will not buy in to the false belief that a single mistake can ruin you for life. If you've ever heard his story, he says that when he was younger, he stabbed a kid. He punched out a kid over a locker disagreement and left a 3-inch gash on the guy's forehead. He even went after his mother with a hammer. Thank goodness his brother stepped in. Now, for most people, those actions would be the tie that binds them to their past. But Dr. Carson found forgiveness and grace, becoming a different person. With this new belief in himself, he overcame the mistakes of his past. Oh, I'm sure you'll hear about it over and over in the media, but the fact still stands. He is considered one of the most famous neurosurgeons in the world. Dr. Carson was wise enough to know that mistakes of the past do not, will not, and cannot demean your future. If you understand that success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts. And he and his brother did not buy into that false belief that mistakes can ruin you for life. Friend, that changes everything. So hear me today loud and clear. Failure is not fatal. Yes, it hurts. It may feel like the end, but if you got up today and are breathing, it's not the end. In fact, if you let it, it could be the beginning of a new day, a new year, a new life, a new opportunity for you. I was actually touched by Dr. Carson's message because I see many young men and women of all races who have bought in the lie that failure is final. And I want to yell from the mountaintop that that is not true. It's a lie. Don't believe it. See, it's a lie to stop you from living your best life ever. It's a lie to hold you down in your mind from doing your best work and being your best self. It's a lie that is passed down from generation to generation that we, whoever we are, cannot do what others do. It's a lie that needs to be exposed for what it is, a self-fulfilling prophecy that keeps you where you are in the same place with no vision for your amazing future. It is a lie, people. Don't believe it. The saying that has also survived through the ages, and it's true, is this: success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And dear listener, let me remind you that many of you don't need to find a purpose. You need to choose one, and you need to get going. Why? Because the world is waiting for you. And I want you to know I would be honored to walk alongside you for and towards your amazing success. All right, I packed a lot in today's message, but I got to say, I'm so tired of hearing people tell me what they can't do. I always want to hear, what can you do? And I'm so proud of my student who is going to be the valedictorian. Honestly, it makes me laugh when he tells me the teachers are just rolling their eyes. But you know, he got going, he got up, he got to work, and he won. Hey, you can too, but it's going to take a little bit of work on your part. Our friend, I hope you'll join me next week. Let's continue this journey together as we work towards a better day and a more thrilling, exciting life for you, because you deserve it. And remember, Deb doesn't care what the world says about you. I want you to know I care about you, and I care about you for a lot of reasons, but probably the most important is I believe once you understand that it's the courage to continue that counts, that changes everything for you. And I'm going to walk alongside you as we follow your dream for success together, and I am excited to cheer you on. All right, everybody, take care. Thanks for listening to Deb Sofield's Encouragement for Your Life, and I hope you'll join me next week, same time, same place. Have a good one, everybody.
Thank you.